New hero Katarina is coming out, Lulu and Olaf finally getting what they deserve, and a lot more hero adjustments and item adjustments. This is patch 2.1a. Let's get started.
Just for the thrill of it, nothing counterfeit with you. Just the thrill of it. Just for the thrill of it, nothing counterfeit.
Welcome back, guys. This is your guy AssassinDave. We're finally going back to daily, regular uploads, guides, tutorials, full wall rip, and now we're going to start with a new update. A lot of exciting stuff to unpack right here. So we're going to go ahead and talk about the first thing first. New champion coming out, Katarina, okay? A champion that a lot of you have been looking forward to, including me. I'm actually a Katarina main when I was playing on PC 10 years ago. No, I'm just kidding. Many years ago. So finally get to see a familiar face, assassin coming out. Now, let's take a look. And champion adjustment. Ashe is getting a tiny buff, not that much for skill 1, but a tiny buff. I don't think this will impact that much, to be honest, for Ashe's position in the game. She's still very weak in a sense of damage. She does offer quite a bit of utility. That's why a lot of times even pro players will play Ashe as a support. Or Ashe damage-wise, we'll have to find out how her position right now in the game. Darius got a decent buff in his survivability or sustain in the team fights. You know, skill 1, missing health, regen went from max 36% to max 45%. And then if you just land on one champion, you get extra 3% back, up to 15% missing health. That's a lot. So basically his team fights sustain is drastically improved if you're able to land your Qs. If you still miss your Q, that's no actual improvement. Apprehend on your skill 3. Now the slow duration has been increased. This basically tells you that right now you might want to start with either skill 2 or skill 3 when you start off the game, especially when you go against a Kali or Gragas. A lot of melee fighters that Darius win against, they actually start with the second skill, third skill. This allows them to trade better, especially level 1, because your most powerful skill is actually a passive, right? The bleed. So you really want to make sure they're slowed so you can put in more auto attack, put in more stacks in. Okay, Israel getting a tiny buff for base damage on skill 1. The damage has improved from 110 damage to 125. 15 points increase, which is not that much. I guess it will help Israel a little bit. I still think, again, this hero damage-wise in lane, in team fight, is a little bit too weak. We'll have to see. Lulu, wow. Finally, after a month of people abusing it, there's so many people reach Challenger. I've talked about this on my live stream. There are a lot of boosted challengers in the game because of Lulu, Olaf, and Jinx, right? They spam one champion 24/7, and because how unbelievably unbalanced the champions are, they're able to get a really high rank from a one-dimensional champion that they don't have to understand the macro of the game. They don't have to understand rotation. They don't have to understand micro of any other hero. They don't have to understand matchups just because the champion is broken. So now you have a lot of boosted high ranks that doesn't need to be there, you know, so which kind of tells the balance of the game. And Lulu is definitely one of them. So getting nerfed. Base health reduced by quite a bit. 40 points out of, 570. That's almost 10% decrease. Movement speed has been decreased, so Lulu doesn't move that fast either. Whimsy, polymorph duration has been decreased by 0.25 seconds. That's decent, 0.25. It's like 5% decrease, right, for qual control duration. For level 1, that's even worse. Level 1 is like a good 20% decrease. So, wow, I like it. So definitely not that long as before. Held picks, skill 3, the shield duration has been decreased by 50%. That's nice. Cast range has been decreased. So basically, the thing that makes Lulu most annoying is in lane where like he is able to shield his teammate like Jinx or Kaisa, and able to auto attack and do a lot of bursts, a lot of poke. That's really annoying. So now the shield duration has been decreased. So I guess Lulu have to mainly rely on herself to do the pokes. And now, because her base health has been reduced, you can now trade back, right? You can now blow back because she's so squishy. And obviously cast range for ultimate has been reduced. Overall, it's a decent nerf. Her overall utility and then the way she combos with certain heroes like Shyvana, Olaf are still pretty good. So I don't see that being nerfed that much. So we'll see. We'll see how this is going to affect the game. Definitely a decent nerf though. Misfortune has been nerfed finally. Base stats, base armor, base health region per level, all been reduced. 21 at level 15 to 14 at level 15. So Misfortune doesn't sustain that much anymore. Love Tap, the passive. Love Tap damage versus minions 100% to 50%. Okay, good. Right? Because Misfortune already have a pretty good lane dominance over champions. And then she's kind of like Evelyn, you know, before Evelyn was nerfed in lane. Not only does she clear wave really fast, she also is really good against champions. So I think that's unfair. You have to be like one or the other, right? You cannot be like, I shove lane and also I destroy your entire team. Good nerf on the passive. I like it. Look forward to see more champion varieties. Olaf being nerfed. Olaf base armor, base AD has been reduced by quite decently. 5 points out of 40 points. That's 1 out of 8. It's, you know, 12.5% decrease from base armor. AD reduced by 6 points. That's almost 10%. So really nice. Undertow. So basically now you can trade with him. Before is like he does the insane amount of damage with his E. And then most importantly, you can't trade because like his one auto attack, his 1E or whatever, does more damage than your entire kit. Like you throw a whole skill on him. As long as Olaf just turn back and start auto attacking, you activate a W, he lifesteals more than how much damage you can do to him because he's so tanky and all that. He does so much damage. And now it's been reduced, so good. Undertow, slow duration being reduced by 10% on level 5. Yeah, on all levels actually. So not that much slow duration being reduced. That's not the biggest problem for Olaf. Olaf's biggest problem was always the E damage. You know, his E damage was too high, and then obviously you can't trade, like I said. So I like the base stats reduction. That makes a lot of sense. Means you can actually play, have a lot of trade back instead of just Olaf one-sided domination in a one-on-one situation. Varus being buffed. The cooldown on the piercing arrow has been reduced for 2 seconds. So now he can throw that piercing arrow a lot more frequently. But how strong is Varus? I don't know. I think we just haven't seen a really good Varus player, or rarely seen it. I've seen 1 or 2, but that might just be a wimps. Because we went back checking those win rates, it's not that high either. So like 1 or 2 games, I have had some decent Varus players that had 1 or 2 lucky games. But overall, I have yet to see Varus in the scene. I always like this marksman. I think this marksman offers quite a bit. The burst damage is nice, especially if you build AP. Even not right now, if you not build AP, like it's still pretty nice. And obviously he has quad control. So moving on, Vayne. Vayne is a bit weaker in dual lane than we liked. Yeah, you don't say, right? Vayne has always been, I think, a Baron lane choice. Every time I see Vayne dual lane in Dragon lane, like I automatically give up the lane. You know, because it's so hard to gank Vayne's lane. It's kind of ganking Israel's lane. The worst Baron lane combination that you can have are probably what? Israel and Janna, or Vayne and Janna. Because they offer no damage. Like, those two just do 0 damage. You gotta wait for them to scale. But at the same time, if your opponent ADC has Xayah and Rakan, like, you can't just wait for your ADC to scale. Like, because they're gonna scale also. So if they have an even lane, even matchup, in the end, their ADC might even outskill your ADC. You know, so it's not like you're getting it in favor by letting your ADC scale. You know, so like, and you can't gank them because they do no damage. It's literally like you go in 1 versus 3. That's literally how it is. When I tried, you know, because the other two just if they miss their skills, even if they don't miss their skills, they do no damage. Like the maximum a Janna can offer you is a shield, and the maximum that your ADC can offer you is what, like few auto attacks? Probably won't even auto attack because they're still scared of their opponent. What opponent can offer? Rakan, knockout. I don't like it, but now it's being buffed. Condemned damage to Terran stun has been increased by quite a bit damage. Not that much, but early level has been increased by 30 points. That's decent. I mean, that's a lot of damage improve. It's almost like 50%, you know, 40% damage improve if you hit it on a terrain. Nice. I don't know how nice it is. Final hour cooldown has been reduced, so you can use your ultimate a lot more. Again, I will have to see. Maybe there are some really good Vayne players, and there definitely are. We'll see some people being Vayne one trick. How's it going to affect the game? This hero is still very much a late game champion. Yeah, maybe it's worth more to skill her. Xayah. This is a champion that is, again, I think is busted right now. Riot has a tendency to either come out a champion that's really weak or come out a champion that's really strong. Like we've seen that on Canon, we've seen it on what, Teemo, you know, or Tristana, and they overbuff it. And Xayah is one of it, right? Xayah came out as definitely like one of the least popular champion. It was popular, everybody wanted to try her, and then boom, it turned out to be a disaster. Now, I think it's a little bit overbuffed. Let's take a look. Double dagger on skill 1, base damage being increased by 15 points. It's almost 50% increase at level 1. So basically, her early game damage base damage increased by a lot. You know, if you throw the skill on people, it's gonna hurt. Deadly plumage, bonus attack speed increased by 10% on all levels. 10% on all levels. So she's not only burst damage increase, also if you activate that skill, you're gonna start auto attacking really, really fast and then throw this feathers everywhere. And then you call them back on E. Let's take a look at skill 3. Blade Caller, cooldown being reduced so you can call them back a lot more often by 1 second, which is, again, people don't think 1 second is a lot. It's actually a lot because if you have to look at that percentage wise, that's a 10% increase, you know, on cooldowns. I mean, decrease on cooldowns, meaning like improvement. So 12 seconds to 11 seconds to 1 second out of 12, that's close to 10%. That's a lot. You know, if you look at anything over level 3, that's over 10%. You know, 1 second out of 9 seconds. AD ratio 0.6 to 0.8, 0.2. That's like 30% increase on AD skilling. So basically, late game, once Xayah got those items, you better not get hit by a feather. If Xayah hit the ultimate, for example, and then called him back with the E, you're screwed, dude. Like, you're done. You're toasted. 33% increase on the AD scaling. Goddamn. Featherstorm ultimate, base damage improved by 25 points at level 1, 75 points at level 3. That's like a 25% increase, you know? Damn. I mean, I don't know. I think this is overbuffed. I've seen this champion being abused, especially with Rakan yesterday. And it was disgusting, man. Rakan's kit initiation was always disgusting because he can literally crowd control you for 2 seconds, right? Active ultimate, charm you. Active ultimate and charging in, right? It's a charm plus knock up all together, back to back. You get charmed, sit in place, and you get knocked up right after. And Rakan dash away, thanks to Rakan's skills, right? And he can come back in and do that shit again. Similar to Alistar, but I think in a way a lot more annoying. Because I think his initiation is just a lot better. Because he activates ult, he comes in, it's undodgeable. And then the thing that's a lot more surprising than Alistar, because he moves faster, and I think the range is longer too. So overall, Rakan Xayah is busted combo right now. If you're supporting ADC duo, you want to play this, go ahead. It's actually really annoying to go against, especially a good Xayah Rakan combo when they you know, communicate with each other. You have a pre-set up knock up plus Xayah skill 1, and on top of it another root. So that's a good like 3 second quad control. That can chain into anything in their team, right? Orianna ultimate and Malphite ultimate. Ooh, disgusting. Let's move on to items. Blade of Rune King. Blade of Rune King now, attack damage may be reduced, but attack speed has been increased by 5%. And on-hit damage, melee from 6% to 9% of the current enemy's health physical damage. Range 6% of current enemy health unchanged. During movement speed only lasts for 2 seconds now instead of 3 seconds. So overall, I think this is really good change because it was a little busted. Every ADC builds it. Even Misfortune builds it. I don't think this champion needs it that much, but everybody builds it because this item is so busted strong. Like now, but if you think about it, they made it weaker for ADCs, right? Because not really weaker. Yeah, weaker because your attack damage has been reduced. But they made it stronger for attack speed reliant ADCs, right? Like if you, for example, Vayne, for example, Xayah, right? All those champions who needs attack speed, sure, you know, I'll give you 5% more. And most importantly, this item is a lot more suited for champion like Yasuo. Like imagine Yasuo going in, now your melee proc is instead of 6 is 9%. So this might be a core item you can even build first, because Yasuo also his skill 1 synergizes with attack speed. The more attack speed you have, the less cooldown you have on skill 1, the more frequently you can cast it. So not only does it give you more attack speed now, it also gives you 3% extra enemy health. So like imagine you're attacking really frequently. And by the way, if you don't know what Yasuo damage kit relies on the auto attack. It's actually not his ultimate. It's actually not a skill cast. A lot of people play Yasuo like a caster. If you're doing that, you're doing something wrong. You're not playing Yasuo right. Yasuo rely on this EQ skill to go in, your ultimate to give you the physical pin, and then it mainly relies on your auto attack to do the damage. That's why like you gotta go into a lot of back and forth to shred people, to auto attack people. That's why I take Conquer on Yasuo. That's why you never take Electrocute, you know, because you mainly rely on auto attack. You proc the Conquer and you go back in and trade auto attack with the people because you know you can win. Your auto attack hurts. So now instead of 6%, it's 9% of current health. So especially going against tanks like tankier hero like Gragas, like Nasus or Garen, you're gonna give you a lot more advantage. So I think Yasuo might even build his first item now. I mean, people used to do that already against tankier Silence. Leandra's Torment ability power being reduced, combined cost is being increased. Total unchanged, but they made it harder and also not so net worthy to get as a first item. I don't know. I don't know about this change. I think the Leandre was like a busted item for most mages. So I definitely think Leandre needed nerf. But how much nerf, right? Is 20 AP too much? I don't know. But Leandre does make you, I mean, his passive still there. It's really annoying. And also Leandre still make you really strong in sustained team fights. Because it does increase the damage overall, like over a period of time. So Leandre Torment, I don't know about this change. I will have to test it to see how this affects the game. But I don't even play mid. I mainly play Akali side. So Leandre is an item it's one of my core items, but I'll only build it first if it goes against like a tankier side like a Garen, Nasus, Gragas. Those choices, I'll build Leandre first item. If it's not those choices, if it's a squishy champion like Cannon, I'll always build Gunblade because I can one-shot him. So, Leandre Torment, we'll have to find out. You know, a Haunting Gaze, this is one of the component of Leandre Torment. I think it's, the total cost being adjusted, ability powers have been adjusted to accommodate the overall ability power and the cost for Leandre's Torment. And free-to-play champion rotation. So, guys, I don't know about some of the changes. Like, I'm not saying that's bad. I just don't know. I have to test it. But for some changes I really like, for example, Lulu's nerf, Olaf's nerf, I liked it a lot, right? We'll have to see them in the game. I like some hero buffs like Zaya, but this might be overdone. Again, last night, 3 o'clock in the morning, for you, I already seen people abuse it. And a really decent win rate with it. It's that hero skills, it's GG, WP right now. For some other changes like Israel changes, I don't think it's affect that much. Darius changes that might be decent. Ashe changes, not gonna affect that much. And I can't wait for Katarina. What's your thoughts about this patch? Leave a comment down below. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn the bell on to all notification bells so you do not miss our live stream, you do not miss our video. We'll see you in Challenger, and we'll see you in the next one. Love you guys. See you guys next time. Bye now.
Just for the thrill of it.